Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Zombie Mode is a horde shooter that takes place in a variety of different crazy locations. Once again, the dead have risen up, so it's up to 4 players to work together to try and survive for as long as possible, and who knows, maybe even eventually try and make an escape.
This is a zombie. You should kill it.
The maps are all fun ideas and perfect for a bit of zombie shooting. In Voyage of Despair, a heist on the Titanic goes wrong, leaving icebergs the last thing on people's minds. Then there's the time-travelling level called 9, which takes place in a kind of Roman Colosseum, where an ancient ritual's going on. By the way, even though this cutscene shows people fighting with swords and spears and stuff, the actual gameplay's still all about the guns.
I'm gonna shove that claw down your throat if you try that again.
And finally, Blood of the Dead is set on the prison island of Alcatraz. This is probably the biggest map available, and is my personal favourite of the 3. There is a 4th map on the disc, but unfortunately this is only for those who paid for the Black Ops 4 Season Pass, which is not me. At first, Zombies feels like your typical horde survivor mode, with players having to fight off against waves of enemies that get more and more difficult as time goes on. By getting kills, money's earned, which can be then spent on getting new equipment, weapons, ammo, and can be used to open up new parts of the map. All of the maps are well designed, with plenty of tight corridors to funnel the enemy into. And when you throw in the magical elixirs that for some reason I always forget to use, as well as the special moves like Thor's hammer, then the action can really get kinda crazy. I would say that it has kinda lost some of that horror feeling that some of the old Call of Duty zombie modes used to have. Not that being on a sinking cruise ship wouldn't be horrific, but it's more like the tone isn't even trying to be scary anymore, but instead is going for a more over-the-top action. Alcatraz does have the odd spooky bit in it, with its weird science experiments and an evil warden walking around.
Huh, I guess that means he's full. Well, that was fun.
If I'm honest, I don't think the zombie mode looks quite as good as the rest of the game does, especially when you compare the cutscenes in it to those in the multiplayer. It does still have that slight cartoony feel, which I like, especially with its over-the-top characters always shouting back and forth to one another, often advancing the story.
I say we find a boat and try sailing off into the sunset. Take some cigars, Kentucky bourbon, maybe a team of Russian dancers.
There's a fun variety of the enemy types. It's not just zombies, but also demonic tigers, dogs, strange monsters. But let's talk about where things get really interesting. Each map hides in it a ton of different puzzles and riddles to try and figure out. There's always clues to look out for, and things that may just look like background decorations can sometimes be interacted with in a specific way to move along the puzzle. In fact, it's crazy how much depth some of this has, taking a whole community of players to figure it out. It's like trying to get out of an escape room while at the same time trying to stop the army of the undead from chewing on you. There's no time limit to anything, but of course, the longer it takes to solve a puzzle, the stronger the waves are going to get, meaning they're going to be more and more difficult to have to deal with. But what is nice is, the whole thing can be played in a solo mode, with some AI bots to help dish out the damage while you work out the puzzles. This means that you can set your own pace, and at first figure things out for yourself, rather than risk joining a match online, where everyone knows what they're doing except for you, leaving you confused at what's going on. Zombie mode is definitely more than just a cheap add-on, and can provide hours of fun by itself. So add this to the multiplayer and to the Battle Royale Blackout mode, then there's plenty of content to play around with here. Even though there isn't the traditional campaign or single player mode, it still provides plenty of bang for your buck. There's something for every FPS fan here to enjoy, and every time you play, you're probably going to have some fun. Do I still wish there was a campaign? Well, yeah, absolutely. But having fun gameplay is the most important thing, and to be honest, it's hard to argue that Black Ops 4 doesn't have that. So until next time, thanks for watching.